The enrichment auction. The afternoon sun filtered through the windows of the Miller household as Bill stepped through the front door, feeling the familiar relief of being home. Judy greeted him with a mischievous glint in her eyes, her voice low and playful as she remarked that it was good he was home because Tina would be here in a half hour. She suggested they only had time for a quick quickie, which Bill immediately declared to be his specialty. He proposed a detour to the kitchen for a can of whipped cream before heading up to the bedroom. Judy laughed, asking if he was really going to cover her in whipped cream, to which Bill replied that if there was any left by the time they got there, he certainly would. Their private moment was abruptly interrupted when the door swung open and Tina walked in. Judy, startled, asked what she was doing home, noting that the carpool must have dropped her off early. Tina explained that she was supposed to be at her after-school enrichment thingy, but they simply did not have that anymore. Judy was shocked, wondering how the school could cut a program and not tell the parents. Tina mentioned they had sent home a bunch of flyers, which she had given to Judy. When Judy struggled to remember where she put them, Tina pointed out that Judy had said Mommy was napping and handed them to her to color on. Bill looked at the drawings and called it terrible, though Tina defensively said she did the best she could. Judy clarified that she meant it was terrible that the program was cut, as that was where Tina received her music and art education. Bill added a more selfish concern, noting that if Tina did not get her afternoon enrichment, the parents would not get their afternoon enrichment either. Judy expressed disbelief that Kathy Halverson, the goody two-shoes president of the PTA, had not done anything about it. Bill pointed to a flyer on the table, reading the invitation to save after-school enrichment by joining Ted and Kathy Halverson for brownies and brainstorming. Realizing the meeting was that very tonight, Judy insisted they go. Bill groaned, admitting he hated the Halversons because they were so full of themselves. Tina reminded her father that he always said they should not say bad things about people. Bill corrected her, explaining that they do not, unless people are jerks or stuck-up jerks or even big fat stuck-up jerks. As they prepared to leave, the atmosphere was filled with the tension of social obligation and the lingering notes of a song about being read like an open book and being turned on when the lights go down. Upon arriving at the Halverson residence, Bill hoped they were not the first ones there, fearing Ted would make him listen to another Christian rap CD by the group Hallelujah Joe. Ted greeted them at the door with a rhyming invitation to not bother knocking and let the meeting start rocking. Bill muttered that it was so queer he would need a lot of beer. Inside, Kathy was addressing the group, stating it was up to the parents to rally together. She acted surprised to see the Millers, noting they were not expected. Judy defended their presence, claiming they never miss anything regarding their children's education. Kathy pointed out that she did not remember seeing them at the book fair, the bake sale, or Teacher Appreciation Day. Bill and Judy quickly cycled through excuses, claiming they were sick with a lingering illness. Ted offered to get one more chair for them, specifically his ergonomic office chair. Bill rolled his eyes at the big words, whispering to Judy that Ted should just say he got it cheap. As Bill attempted to sit in the strange chair, he joked that he was not responsible for anything that might happen in that position. Kathy opened the floor for fundraising ideas. Judy suggested sending kids out with coffee cans to collect money, but Kathy dismissed it, wanting to raise money without turning the children into hobos. When Kathy asked for other ideas, Judy raised her hand, but Kathy ignored her to call on herself, proposing a silent auction. Kathy praised herself as a mother who cares about her children. Bill, confused, asked how they would hear the bids if it was silent. Kathy explained that people write down bids instead of calling them out. Bill wondered aloud if this was just because of the one deaf parent. After the meeting broke for homemade butterscotch brownies, the competitive spirit intensified. Ted mentioned donating a week at their timeshare in Florida, while Kathy planned to donate golf lessons at her club. When they asked Bill what he was kicking in, he playfully said he could not tell because it was a silent auction. Ted suggested it was all right if they had nothing to donate. Stung by the implication, Bill blurted out that they had something big, even bigger than a liar telling. Back at home, Judy asked Bill what they actually had lying around the house that was big. Bill's ego was bruised. He hated how Ted was always in his face with community service. Judy reminded him it was about helping Tina's school, not his ego. She suggested raising money with a video of Bill on vacation, which She jokingly called Judy gone wild. When Judy tried to talk to Kathy about their donation, Kathy patronizingly told her not to worry because no one expected them to come up with anything. Instead, Kathy suggested they serve as worker bees for the cleanup committee. Feeling insulted, the Millers returned home determined to show the Halversons up. They sat in the living room trying to brainstorm, though Bill joked it would only be a light drizzle of ideas. Their son, Brian, was watching the House Appropriations Committee on C-SPAN, negotiating the budget for the next fiscal year. Lauren mocked him, suggesting the government set aside billions to build him a girlfriend. Brian retorted that her sense of humor would get her through long nights at a toll booth. They eventually settled on watching a Korean soap opera, captivated by a shirtless actor despite not understanding a word of the language. The night of the auction arrived. Bill and Judy had come up with an item called a night of beef and teeth. A potential bidder asked what it was, and Bill explained it was a homemade rib dinner followed by a teeth cleaning and gum massage by Judy, a top dental assistant. The man made a suggestive comment about the meal and dessert, which Bill found over the line until he realized the man was her husband, making the whole situation creepy. Ted and Kathy approached, mocking the Millers' lack of bids. Ted joked that maybe people were signing names with invisible ink. He boasted that while not everything could be as popular as their timeshare, they were the winners of the contest that was not a contest. A man finally signed the Millers' sheet, but quickly realized he had signed the wrong one, thinking it was for Taibo classes. He tried to take his name off, further embarrassing Bill and Judy. Kathy once again suggested they join the cleanup crew with a condescending buzz. Fed up, Bill decided they needed to change their auction item. He announced to the room that the night of beef and teeth was canceled and replaced by a children's cookies and crafts party, where the top 10 bidders could dump their kids at the Miller house for a whole day. The room erupted in excitement as parents rushed to sign up. Bill gloated to Ted that while the children were the winners, Ted was the loser. The next day, Ted and Kathy visited the Millers to congratulate them on having the most popular item. Ted apologized for getting carried away in the heat of competition. Kathy suggested that if they helped out, the Millers could double the number of kids and raise even more money. Judy agreed, jokingly calling them worker bees for the cleanup crew. After they left, Bill noted that the paint was not dry on Ted's sincerity and predicted the worm would turn. Later, Judy and Lauren were watching their favorite Korean drama when Kathy called. Judy pretended she was watching Antiques Roadshow to seem more sophisticated. After the call, Judy informed Bill that Kathy and Ted could not help with the party because Ted's aunt was sick and they had to go out of town. This left the Millers to handle 20 children alone. Bill tried to be responsible, though his version of dinner was boxes of frozen juices and fudgies. The party was pure chaos. The kids were running everywhere, beads were being mistaken for candy, and Tina was trying to show friends where someone had thrown up upstairs. Bill struggled to keep a head count while the kids yelled random numbers to confuse him. Amidst the madness, Bill went out to buy more eggs and flour. When he returned, he told Judy he saw cars and a catering truck at the Halverson house. They were not out of town. They were having a party while the Millers suffered with 20 kids. Furious, Bill and Judy decided they would not be the bigger people. They gathered the 20 children and told them they were going to help decorate a neighbor's house. They marched the kids to the Halverson residence and began a full-scale prank, throwing toilet paper and decorations everywhere. However, the front door opened to reveal a somber scene. Ted was speaking about the passing of Aunt Rose, stating that rather than mourn her death, they should celebrate her life. It was a memorial service, not a celebratory party. Bill and Judy stood frozen in horror as they realized their mistake. Ted stepped outside, demanding to know what in the name of Satan's hometown was going on. Bill sheepishly asked how the aunt was, only for Ted to confirm she was dead. Bill tried to justify their actions by saying they thought it was a scam to avoid helping with the kids. Kathy was devastated, explaining it was a memorial service. Bill and Judy apologized profusely, offering to clean everything up. Suddenly, someone yelled that the cops were coming, and the Millers scrambled to get the kids away. A few days later, Bill and Judy stood outside the Halverson house with a bag of brownies as a peace offering. They hoped the Halversons would appreciate the gesture. Bill, unable to see clearly in the dark, asked Judy to help him find the holes to leave the note. Just then, the lights came on, and they realized they were being watched. The cycle of neighborly tension continued, leaving the Millers to wonder if they would ever truly move past being the slackers of the neighborhood.